There's still time to get half off your registration price at Equip. Use Brian's special link in the description.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no-nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging with you guys. Good morning. Today's podcast episode, it's actually the second time I'm redoing this podcast because I'm trying to do my best to deliver the thought that I want and the idea that I want to share with you guys. And I'm exceedingly passionate and very, very interested in getting across now and forever. But I'm doing my best to articulate this kind of language, which is helping people actually know how to run a real business and how to actually make money. Now, let's just cover a couple groundwork rules here and some housekeeping. Number one, I'm in the pursuit. I don't have it all figured out. I'm learning every single day. You know, our company's going to eclipse 500,000 here very, very quickly in a rolling 12-month calendar year. We're having phenomenal growth. We've just closed 3 new commercial snow sites, a new commercial snow site just today. A lot of great stuff going on, a lot of great growth. Every one of these conversations are $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 conversations. I have another quote out for another site that we should lock up, another $10,000 to $30,000 account. Like, we're in big growth mode, have to hire for sure by next spring, add more trucks, add more trailers, add more crews, do the whole deal, right? So I'm in this huge growth mode, and I want to be as focused and as intentional as possible as I continue to grow my company. Top line, bottom line, overhead, costs, systems, processes, everything is like wet paint around here. So I'm learning as much as anybody, I would imagine. Well, had a great conversation last night in our private Facebook group link, and somebody had asked a really good question. His name is Tad. How do you make money with your business? Like, what system or approach are you using to make money? Like, how do you know you're making money? And, very generic, very broad kind of stroke question, but honestly, a really, really good question. Because what I had sent in the link live chat, and that's something that we do every night, 9 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays, and there's always 20 to 50 plus people, 75 the other day. We had Andy Mulder on, and it was a fantastic time. Always a great discussion and conversation. It's not top down. It's a roundtable discussion. We're all learning, sharing notes, encouraging and motivating each other. It's just fun. It's not like everybody's bringing groundbreaking information every week. It's just a great time to build community with some great friends and some great folks out there. And I'm thinking to myself, as I'm talking to this gentleman, Tad, and the rest of the group, I said, you have to figure out a system that works for you, a business that works for you. You have to figure out how you are making profit in your company. Now, I don't care if you take today's overhead is $300 for my company. I want to make $200 in profit. That means I need to do $500 in gross sales today. Divide that by 10 man hours. That means it's $50 a man hour. And if I can do 1 lawn an hour, that's $50 a lawn. Sure. I don't care if you punch in all of your company overhead and element says, here's your production rates on a 0-turn mower. Here's your production rates on labor. Here's your costs. Here's your overhead. Here's your break even. Here's your desired profit. Here's what you're charging for a retail price. And you can spit the number out that way. Fantastic. I don't overly care about how you get to that number. What I do care, though, is that you are spending some concentrated thought on how to actually price your work and come up with predictable profit for your business. And because social media is so big, and because everybody looks so good, and everybody looks like they're making money, and everybody makes it look easy, you would think that because you're struggling to make profit, or the bank account hasn't moved in a couple of months, or maybe you've had like a flat year and there's not really anything extra to report on, even though you grew top line and you added employees, but it seems like all the profit and cash is being sucked out of your business and out of your life. You're kind of like treading water. You're not feeling as motivated, or you don't feel like you have the same excitement, as some of these other social media people out there. And you look around and everybody's promoting everything and everybody makes it look easy. And well, this guy's promoting that and this guy's promoting this. And clearly like they all have it all figured out. And you're out there in the desert wondering like why you're not making money. And then you have self-doubt and you start getting critical on yourself and you're thinking to yourself, well, everybody else has it all figured out. Why can't I? Why isn't it working for me? And let's just cut the mustard. I basically said on the link live, and there's a lot of context here, but I said, the reality is that every single person that I keep having conversations with, what are you charging for this? What is your numbers for that? How are you getting this? How are you getting that? Where are you guys at on this? Like, I'm digging so I can get as much info and data to take back to look at how I price my work and to see if there's any opportunity to change how I'm pricing and how I'm bidding and how I'm factoring in profit. But if you don't have a system to bid and price your work and you just go off of the, hey, what are you getting for? What are you getting for a yard of mulch installed? What are you getting for 100 foot of Christmas lights installed? What are you getting for a base scrape on a 1 acre, 1.5 to 3 inch tier push snow sites? What are you getting per ton applied for a 1 ton of bulk salt? What are you getting for a weekly mow? What are you getting for a weekly mow over here? What are you guys getting for a condo for a door price? Oh, I'm getting $1,250 a door. Really? You're getting $1,250 per door, and you got a 60 door condo complex, and that's $70,000. So I go and I say, fine, I'm going to bid the next condo complex. It's got 35 doors. 35 times 1,250 is 42.5 or whatever it is. And I'm going to go bid this thing for 42,500, only to learn that the budget was either 20 grand or 75 grand. And I either double overshot what the budget was, or I significantly underbid and left $20,000, $30,000 on the table, which is likely your profit because your cost was probably 40 grand and your profit was 20 to 30 grand and that 30-40% margin, and you left that on the table and now you're working all winter for free and taking on a crap ton of liability. But if you just go off of what are you getting for, like, that's not a recipe for success. And I always say your success in life is going to be predicated on the kind of questions you ask and the right questions to ask, the good questions to ask, and to the good and right people. And, it's not a bad question to ask, what are you getting for? Because it's nice to compare notes. We've all asked that. We all start there, but it's not where you finish. It's a great start, bad finish, right? Again, like how I come up with my numbers, and I'm getting $52.50 for a weekly subdivision mow, or $60 or $65 or $63.71, right? Like, that's what my company needs to charge to make 21.6% profit or 25% profit or 30% profit on a spring cleanup or 30% profit on a fall cleanup. I know my production numbers and rates, arguably to a T now. Now, don't turn me off. Listen, that's because we utilize the LMN platform and we know to a T what's going on with our numbers. Now, doesn't mean you have to sign up with LMN. It just means have a system, have a structure. I don't care if it's pen and paper. I don't care if it's a know your numbers calculator we have at Launchpreneur Academy. I don't care if it's LMN. I don't care if it's synced up. I don't care who, what, when, where, why, or how. I don't care if you took somebody's budgets, break evens, bottom lines course with John Pajak and he gave you a formula to use and that's how you got to price all your work. That's fine. Just continue to use that system, number one, and then number two, compare notes. But don't ask everybody out there in the community industry or on Facebook pages, what are you getting for a yard installed? And then try to create your pricing structure from there. Because your business overhead and your market and your company overhead are entirely different than anybody else. And I know this sounds obvious, but how many folks out there, here's the sniff test. If I asked you, how do you know you're making money? And you said, I don't know. I mean, my competition's charging 60 for a mow and I'm charging 62.50. I feel like I'm making money. Wrong answer, right? Not a good answer. Well, the bank account grew this summer. Okay. So what? Did it grow 5 grand? Did it grow 50 grand? If it grew 50 grand, was it supposed to have grown 80 grand? Like, so what? Just because it grew doesn't mean like you're accurately pricing. Maybe you did $2 million worth of work and it grew 50 grand, but if you did 2 million at 10%, it should have grew 200 grand. So you're under 150 grand where you need to be, right? And that's at a 10% margin. And maybe you should be at a 20% margin. And I know this sounds kind of obvious, and I know this might not sound as like heartfelt or heartwarming or, a rah-rah, kick him in the knee, rah-rah-ras, kick him in the what kind of motivational podcast for you guys today. But I would I'd rather take less views, less downloads, less everything. I don't care about the vanity metrics. I don't care about any of it. Because at the end of the day, what I care about is you guys having a successful business that pays your bills, saves some money for retirement, gives you some financial freedom, hopefully some time freedom along the way as well. And you have a robust business that not only supports you, but supports your team and hopefully gives an extension in the community to improve the areas around you. Like, that's it. That's business 101. That's just life. Like, that's just being a good steward. Take care of your family, take care of your guys, your team, and then hopefully pour back some into the community. Like, that's, and because the community is what supports you. And that's just the business cycle of life as I see it. It's not anything more complicated than that. Where I struggle, where I mentally struggle, and I'm not perfect. I'll tell you that. I struggle with this a lot. It works on me. It erodes my self-confidence in the community or in the industry. Quote unquote, the community, right? When people just give out and dispense advice on social media or Facebook groups, and they say, well, I get $120 a yard. And the next guy says, you guys are losers. I get $175 a yard. And it's like, there's no rhyme or reason to why they do what they do. And I'm not making an indictment on anybody. This is just an observation, right? But like, that's not what you should be doing. That's not what you should be charging. And then you get on social media and people are buying new trucks, or they're building a shop, or they're building a business. And you don't know anything about those folks other than they make things look great on social media. And I'm definitely, one to build a social media following, quote unquote, and show a highlight reel. But I also try to do my best to show the lowlight reel. And a lot of great folks do, but not everybody. And just because somebody's promoting a certain software, or because you see something all the time, or you hear something all the time, like, that doesn't mean that it's law, and it doesn't mean that it's right. Because Landscape Management Network, LMN, says the average profit for a company doing 7 figures, their data is 1%. When I talk to big fish guys, and everybody says, I make 20% and 10%. And the big guys say, no, we're in single-digit profit margins. And you can get to double digits, but if you want true time freedom for a company doing 10, 15, 20 million, you're probably going to be in single-digit profit margins. And some guy says, well, I make 30% profit. And he's an owner-operator. He hasn't paid himself payroll. That's just what's left over. Now you had a $32,000 base payroll, and the dude's under $4,000 on $100,000 gross. And he's actually losing money. And he doesn't know that. He hasn't priced his work effectively, or doesn't have enough production going into his company. But he says, I have a 30% gross profit margin. And I say, well, yeah, I'm hovering at like 15.5 to 21.5, depending on where we're at. And net operating income's flat. And somebody says, no, I mean, nobody's saying this, but it's like, which guy is more right? Which guy is right? Which guy's building a real business? And that's what I'm on this journey personally, to just literally provide real number data for those of you guys that are trying to grow a real business. I will help you with buying selections on trimmers, blowers, edgers, leaf blowers, leaf loaders, trucks, plows, salters, whatever I can do to help. That's like, our content has always been about equipment and growing a successful business. But if you can't tell, I am looking to graduate my content to, here's what it takes to grow a real, robust business that's actually making money, because that's what I want to do. And I want to, I believe, help you guys do that. And I believe, I should say, that that's what you guys want to do as well. And so, just to take the idea here is like, what are you charging? Or what are you getting for? Or what would you guys charge for this? Bro, not a bad first start question. But eventually, here's what I said in the live stream too. I said, you have to eventually plug the hole, learn the skill set, adopt the attitude or the mindset of figuring out how to charge for your business what you need to make money, to cover your overhead, to reinvest into the company, and to make profits for you. For you. And you know what? How I come at it might be different than you. It might be 1 degree different. It might be 180 degrees different, right? But that's fine. Now, obviously, there's best practices, there's industry standards, there's industry averages. Actually, when you go into the element budget and you start filling out all your stuff, there's 3 colors, green, black, and red, when you're punching in all your info. And it says like, hey, your labor is a little high, your material cost is a little high, or your subcontractor might be a little high or a little low, like industry standards. Like your overhead might be too low. You're not reinvesting enough into the business. You're taking too much profit out, quote unquote. And that's good to know. Like, hey, this is average on 31%. This is an average of 25%. This is an average of, 8%, 4%. Like that's always good stuff to know, because success does leave clues, right? I mean, you take 100 businesses and they're all going to be 100 different examples, but they're all going to be plus or minus a couple percents for any company that's been around for, 5 years and that's trying to last. But, the outlier of some guys saying, well, I charge $175 a yard installed and I got a 44% margin. I'm like, bro, I said, I don't know a single company doing north of $1 million that's got a 44% margin or true net profit. Let me rephrase that. True net profit, right? Like it's just not a thing. So everybody else has it wrong and you have it right, or you're wrong. And there's averages on running a business, the law of large numbers, right? And the law of averages, law of large numbers here. It's just, I just get frustrated because I don't want to be the guy who's the blind leading the blind. And the last 12, 18 months, I have went through the crucible to be, really the last 5 years, I've gone through the crucible to learn how to be a better business person and to really dial things down. I don't have it all figured out. Element has been in lobotomy. I was joking with the guys last night. There's a bunch of guys on onboarding right now and they're signing up. They're going through the whole process and they're like, man, this is a cluster. It's a lot. And there's some great guys that would, I'm sure, share their own testimony that were literally like, dude, I'm literally onboarding through LMN and I'm going through my budget. I'm setting this all up. And they're like, and the onboarding specialist is asking me just, not hard questions, just pointed questions. Like, what are you charging for this? Or what do you get for that? And they're like, well, here's what I normally charge. And they're like, okay, no, that's fine. Like, well, here's where your production rate needs to be. And here's what it actually says you're supposed to be at. And you're like, well, I'm $50 over per visit on that. Great. Well, you're making money. Like you're getting a great price. And if you're $50 under or 2% under or whatever, right? Like $100 under, you're like, crap, and it's just in front of you. It's just in front of you. But until you've actually had to be held to account to actually punch in your numbers or to put those numbers in front of somebody else to look at, like a bookkeeper or even your CPA, and then somebody outside going, what the hell's going on around here? And you go, dude, I have no idea. I need help. What should I be focusing on? What's the 1, 2, 3 things I can focus on here? You're just kind of guessing. And again, I don't want anybody listening in to be guessing. I just strongly implore you guys, finish up the season strong and then make it your life's mission for the one time, for the love of God, once and for all. Spend time in your business getting clarity, getting focus, and getting strategy about how you're pricing your work and what you need to charge to make money.
Attention lawn care pros. You're invited to the biggest event of the year, Entrepreneur Academy Live 2024. November 2nd in Novi, Michigan. Whether you're just starting or scaling up, this is the place to be. Join us for an action-packed day with expert sessions on cash flow management, business automation, client retention, marketing, and more. We've lined up an incredible roster of speakers to help you elevate your business, including Sam Rankin,
Pat Murray,
Ken Deemer,
Brian Fullerton,
Sam Gimbel,
Mark Bradley,
and Jeff Joyner. You'll network with like-minded pros, enjoy exciting giveaways, and get ready to take your business to new heights. Don't miss our Friday night mixer for some fun and camaraderie before we get down to business.
Can't wait to have all of you guys up here in Novi, Michigan for real. And if you guys have never been, I want to just challenge you to come on out, at least check it out for the first time, at least one time. Should have a couple hundred people there for sure, between 200 and 350 people. Always usually pulls a pretty good crowd. Come work on yourself, come work on your business, get around the heat and involved in a fun environment that's going to challenge you to grow and give you the answers that you need.
I'm telling you, don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to level up and connect with industry leaders. See you in Novi this November. There's a special link in the show description.
Thank you to our sponsors, Xmark, Boss, Short Track, and LMN.
Entrepreneur Academy Live 2024.
If you're already profitable, this exercise will only make you exceedingly more profitable. If things are flat and average, it will help you to reinvigorate your business and your mental and your attitude when you start pumping out a 10, 20, 30% true net profit out of your business if things have been flat. If you're losing money and things are broken and not good, how could this not shine a light on some different areas of needed improvement to help you better your business? It is a must-have, right? That's the cowbell ringing, saying we need to focus on this more than anything right now and get our financial ducks in a row, right? What do they say? Like, there's nothing like fresh air and warm sunlight or outdoor sunlight to disinfect. It's the ultimate disinfectant. Like, we have to shine a light on these things and these topics. And I don't know. You guys tell me. I'll talk about whatever you want to talk about on the podcast. We can talk the new Red Max EBZ 9000 leaf blower, and who else has got Xmark's got a brand new Laser Z, and we'll talk equipment all day long. But like, I don't want anybody stressing out about money. I don't want anybody stressing out about bills. I want you guys to be able to provide your employees with whatever you decide to, but health insurance, a 401k, great quality working conditions, the best trucks, the best equipment, the best trailers. A steel edger breaks down, it's $400 and it's $200 to tag it and get it fixed. And you're like, I don't have $200. Like, I don't want anybody, I want $200 to be like, okay, yeah, no big deal. $200 should be like $20 to you. That's where I want to get everybody listening in and above. And it just starts with not asking, hey, what are you getting for a yard installed, a 100-acre or an acre an hour of turf, or a 1 acre bush hog job, or what do you get to take down a tree? Oh, I charge $400. I charge $2,000. How is there so much discrepancy in an industry? I was just having this conversation with somebody. They said, yeah, that doesn't work with electrical work for electricians. There's industry like standard rates. Like, people are like, what do you pay your guys? 18 to 25 an hour? Like, electricians, and I'm sure they have their own issues too, the electrician industry, right? Whatever. But like, they all know what they're making as an apprentice at this, and as journeyman, as a master, or whatever the tiers are. Like, it's a very like transparent, industry, if you will. Like they know what they're charging per foot of this installed, or per outlet installed, or per this installed. Like, they share notes, and I don't know how or what or why, but some industries just seem to work like that. When you come to lawn care, how much you get for a lawn? I get $45. I get $65. I don't drop my gate for less than 80. Like, we're all over the place. And frankly, like, I was saying, like, on the live, I totally mean this with all love and respect to like the community in the industry, but like, bro, 99 out of 100 people have no idea what they're talking about. They have no, and I'm not saying I do. I would lump myself in the 99, saying I'm always learning. I'm still a student, right? I just don't know if everybody's on that same growth curve or self-development journey as I am, as a lot of you guys listening into the show are, as the folks part of the Link membership. Like, this is the group that's trying to get better, right? So a lot of words just to say, you have to learn how to run your business. You have to learn how to make profit. You have to learn your production rates, your production numbers. I will venture to say, out of everybody listening in, 95 out of 100 people, you're probably decent at math, but your brain fries out probably like mine when you look at a spreadsheet, a P&L, or your bookkeeper or your CPA telling you your finances need some focus on this, this, and this. You're like, dude, I just want to cut grass. I want a hardscape. I want to look at a patio. I want to make a cool post on Instagram. And I want to drive by and just tell my wife, hey, we did that lawn. Hey, we plowed that parking lot. Like, I'm with you. But we can't do that forever. We can't do that forever. We have to graduate. We have to spend some time in our books and spend some time focusing on the things that are critical. And that is getting the math right to grow a real successful business. The most successful companies out there eat, sleep, and breathe strategy. And they have financial meetings like this all the time. And the bigger my business gets, the more I'm spending time doing this stuff. People criticize me that I'm, not tan and I'm always white, and I'm always in the truck or in the office. And I'm like, dude, if I had my size business and I was in the field, that would be devastating. It's illogical, that thought process, to somebody at my quote unquote pay grade and level and above. Because if all I did was spend time in the field pulling weeds or cutting grass and not focus on a $500,000 business with leads, sales, accounts payable, accounts receivable, like, do you think that's where my time is best served, is riding a zero-turn lawnmower right now? You're out of your mind. The reason I'm white and as not tan as I ever have been, even though I've been in the field a lot, I have a decent little tan going on, is that I have been literally in the office selling work and working on customer service and emails and routes and learning LMN and bidding and quoting and estimates more than I ever have. So when I see somebody that's, the tannest hombre out there, I'm like, great, dude, you're an awesome technician and you have a 50, 80, 100 grand business, maybe 200 grand business. And the more money you make, the more pasty white you're probably going to be because you're spending more time in the office, right? I mean, it's just how it works. Okay. Like, hopefully you guys understand that. I get criticized about all kinds of stuff all the time. And I'm just like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, my business does in a month what you do in a year and does in 2 months what some folks do in a year. And we have a Mickey Mouse little business, but it's still more than anybody that's ever going to be criticizing me because all the biggest guys are telling me, dude, you're doing it. You got this. Keep going, keep crushing it. And all of you guys that are on Link just gave me so much encouragement yesterday. Like, Brian, we got you, man. Like, you're doing great. Keep on keeping on. Like, you're making gains. You're making moves. Let's all do this. Let's all win together. I need that. That's what this podcast is all about. It's a community. The Brian's Lawn Maintenance, you guys and me community. The greater lawn care industry, love it. The greater lawn care community, sure. But I don't want to be part of the blind leading the blind. I don't want to be a chuck in the truck. I don't want to be a fledgling $500,000 $1 million business running a 5% profit margin. Okay, I'm not going to do that to me. I'm not going to theorize anything out there. We're going to learn. We're going to adopt. We're going to challenge the status quo. I'm going to give you guys all that I'm doing too, and we're all going to learn and win together, and we're all going to make a boatload of money together. Okay. And make a huge impact. That's what it's all about. Don't look over your shoulder and ask the other guy, what are you getting for? Worst question to finish with. Not a bad question to start with. We all get started there. Let's be fair. But eventually you have to figure out, how are we making money? How am I making money? Get a system, keep dialing it in, evaluate it, look at it upside down, throw a light on it, hold it upside down, break the system if you have to, reevaluate everything every year. Why do we do what we do? I do that all the time. I was just having a great conversation with my assistant, Bethany, the other day. I'm like, why are we even doing something X, Y, and Z this way? We're done with that system. We're breaking it. We're fixing it. We're putting a new system in place, much better product. And we're challenging the status quo. Like I said earlier at the top of the show, everything is wet paint. All right. So I feel like I've got a better handle on my numbers, my business, my finances, my life more than ever. I don't know if you ever totally tame the beast or totally tame the numbers. I think you can, of course, have a predictable system that allows you to continue to grow the business at a healthy rate and a healthy system for rinsing and repeating. But I'm telling you, this is stuff that I'm paying attention to more than ever. And I just implore folks, if somebody was to ask me, Fullerton, what did you do right? What did you do wrong? I was a great technician, and my bad thing is I never looked at the back of the house. And if I could encourage anybody from the beginning, yes, learning how to cut grass is great. Just cut the grass. Make tall grass short. Nobody super cares. Okay, even a $900,000 subdivision home, they want it looking nice. It doesn't have to be immaculate. Do the best you can. It's fine, but make sure you're making money. Like, make sure you're charging appropriately. What did you spend on that site? What did you charge? What did you make? What is your actual profit? What does your route density look like? What's your production goals look like? Right? Like, I wish I spent more time in the back of the house, which is what I've spent the last 4 or 5 years doing. Of course, especially the last 12 months, 9 months, 12 months with getting on board with LMN. But like, that's the stuff I should have been focused on a long time, was how to run a real business, not just how to get good at cutting grass. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to that. All right. So this is a conversation starter today. I don't have any like marching orders. You need to do this. You want to sign up with LMN? Check them out this fall. I know a lot of folks making the switch, especially if you're between $500,000 million. It is the next move for you. I'm telling you, you don't know what you don't know. And I'm not being mean. I'm just telling you, I didn't know what I didn't know. And I'm so remarkably grateful that my brain was open for 10 seconds to hear an invitation from Mark Bradley, who had to invite me to the corporate offices to actually see that there's 200 people working there, that there's a real robust system. Because I've heard about LMN for 7 years from the Allmans and many other people. Just for me to finally sit down and Mark do a whiteboard, look at my a faux budget, look at one of my sites, throw the numbers in there that I knew I was making 25% on, right? I knew that I was making money on, and Mark to dismantle and break down the actual job just to realize that I was like making or losing 7%. And I'm like, no, there's no way. And he goes, do you feel like you make money on that job? I go, I don't know. It wasn't a confident yes. It wasn't a resounding yes. And then we went through a couple other exercises, and I'm like, you know what? I absolutely have to figure this out, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. Now, I had the Know Your Numbers calculator. I was using that for 18 months with my own company that we made up because I was using something that I had built because there's nothing like that in Yardbook. But once you really put these numbers in and you really start to realize, like, you just shake your head and you go, why don't people tell me this stuff? Why didn't I know? And I know that sounds esoteric in nature, but that's just the truth. I'm not that good at like communicating words to you guys. I'm not here to get you to make a decision to sign up with Element or buy a calculator. It's nothing like that. I just don't want you guys to struggle. I was struggling for so long. We still struggle in a lot of ways with a lot of stuff, and we're trying to learn and we're trying to get better every day. But there's just so many people that make it look so easy. There's just so many people that, because they have so much quote unquote money coming in, they don't really know where their actual numbers are at. Because there is some margin, they don't know if the margin's even right. And because other people are promoting Jobber or whatever else, and they look good and they smell good, you have no idea what those people are making. You have no idea if those people are charging. You have no idea if they're making money. And frankly, they don't even need to half the time, as long as they're making content to make money with their social media. I will promise you that Liz and I, my wife and I, we will build a $5 million company in the next 5-10 years. I am not here to mess around. We are not here to create a facade. We are not here to fake it till you make it. We have never been like that. But you think you're going to get the 5 million, I'm guessing, or 5 million on rounding or 5 million on making stuff up? You can't. And so I'm not going to. I already knew that. And Element just came in at the right place and the right time for us, okay? Again, I'm not here to sign you up with Element. I couldn't care less. I do care about you getting to know your numbers. However you get there, that's fine with me. And if Element's the tool that helps you do that, then fantastic, all right? Guys, I love you. I'm pouring out my heart here. It was such a thick, great conversation on Link last night. So many light bulbs going off. We were just pitching and catching, and people sharing numbers, and people admitting like, dude, I got this number for this thing and this service, and I don't even know. I just threw a Hail Mary number and I got it, and I cleaned up on it, but I really don't even know, kind of stuff. And although like that's fine, we all start there, and some of us operate like that for a decade. You got to realize like that's no proper way to run a real business. We cannot guess. What'd you get for? What you getting for? What are you getting for? I can do a snow plow video tomorrow. What are you getting for a ton of ply? What are you getting for a base scrape? What are you getting for a condo? What are you getting for a door? What are you getting for 100 feet of sidewalk? These are robust, best scenario numbers for my company. And I'm glad that they're giving you guys an idea of where you could be. But if you just carte blanche say, I'm also plowing a parking lot for $245 for a base scrape from 1.5 to 3 inches. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, dude, you might need to charge $275. You might be able to get away with charging $195. The analogy I gave was, I'm buying bulk salt at $85 a ton, and I'm putting it down for $240. I don't know the delta there. Let's just say $150. If Troy Clogg buys salt wholesale at $50 a ton from, Morton distributor, right? Like the actual salt company, and he's buying 10,000 tons and getting a great price. And then he goes and puts it down for $200 a ton. He's still making the same $150, and he's undercutting my price by $40 or $50, but he's making the same amount of money. And I'm thinking $200 a ton. Well, how does he even making money? Well, because he got it for $50 a ton. I bought it for $100 a ton. Or if I go down from $240 a ton to $200 a ton, I lose $40 or $50 or 20, 30% margin. And I'm like giving away the 50% margin that I make. But I'm like, well, that's what Troy Clogg charges. And now I don't make any money. And I go, this industry sucks. Because I don't have the same business or opportunity to run my business and my numbers the same way Troy Clogg could, or an Atlas Outdoor could, or Pick Your Guy could, or somebody buys 100 loaders, case loaders, and they get 20% off a unit because of fleet and the volume pricing discount. And then they start plowing a Home Depot for $30,000, and I need to charge $50,000. And I go, how could you even compete with that number? Well, because you're getting a loader at $20,000 off or 20% off compared, because they buy fleet. Right? So that's why you can't play the what are you getting for game. Does that make sense? Like every business is different, but you have to build a system for yourself. Use LMN, use a Know Your Numbers calculator, figure out your company overhead, divide by man hours, figure out a margin rate on everything you do after you figure out your company overhead, figure out your man-hour rate. It's probably going to be around $85 per hour to start making some good money in the industry, revenue per hour. All right? Just if you're at 50, I'm telling you, you're too low. If you're north of 85, you're probably in good shape and you're making money. 120, you're starting to crush it. 200, not bad. Anything over than that, you need to be on the podcast so I can learn from you. So Mark Bradley at his peak, he said in the snow, they were doing like $1,200 to $1,500 per man hour. It's insane, right? So, I mean, it's just, there's so much to unpackage here. We're going to continue to unpackage it here. That's why we bring you a podcast Monday, Wednesday, Friday. How about that for a sign off? I love you guys. I appreciate you. Links and codes, all that mess will be in the YouTube description, the podcast description. If you guys need anything like that, shoot me an email. You use our code to sign up with anything. Thank you. For real. I love you guys. I care about you guys. I want you to win more than you ever know. And literally anything that I can do to help you guys out, please shoot me an email. I spent 25 minutes extra on Link last night. It was 11 o'clock at night by the time I wrapped up with an encore little one-on-one Zoom with one of the members. Great dude. His name's Robert. We were just talking about LMN, doing share screens, literally showing him my numbers, him showing me his. There's no charge to that. Whatever I can do to help you out. Just give. I just want to give. I just want to help. If you got questions, shoot me an email. Part of Link, I'll try to give you a little encore. You give me a little extra, I'll give you a little extra, right? Like, whatever I can do to help you guys out, I got your back, all right? Have a beautiful week. Hopefully this is just a conversation starter. Really dive in and dig deep through fall and winter. Let's finish the year strong and then reevaluate a lot of what we do and how we do it, right? We got to land the plane here another 6 weeks. But after that, no excuses going into 25 about not running profitably, not making money, not being able to retire some wives, bring some mommies home, right? Be able to provide some private schooling for our kids, being able to provide fresh fruit for our newborn babies that are out there, organic stuff. That's not all this GMO processed bullshit, right? Being able to put our wives in Tahoes and not little Toyota Highlanders, right? You guys getting out there and getting an F-250, an F-350 Lariat trim truck. And so I'm driving around the 2006 Ford F-250 diesel that's got 250,000 on it falling apart. I'm not saying those things make you happier, but they do make you more comfortable. And for how hard we all work out there, I want you guys to have a little bit more of a comfortable life, a little bit more of a better, blessed life. And some of those little material things along the way, they do help. And frankly, all it does at the end of the day is give you more choices and options and takes that stress level from your nose to your ankles. That's what it's all about. All right? For those of you guys that are working your guts out, you deserve a shop. You deserve a small HQ in a business, in a building. Your employees deserve a place to come. For all you guys stuck at 2 million, dial in. Let's get you that shop this next 12, 18 months. You can do it. We can do it all together. That mower that's got 3,000 hours and falling apart in the seats, got a spring poking through and hitting your butt. All been there. You got the rip seat or the deck that's a little unlevel, right? You deserve a brand new Laser Z. Let's dial in our numbers and let's figure out how to run a real business and get the upgraded mower, right? I love you guys. I appreciate you. Heavy topic today. If I can do anything for you, again, shoot me an email, join Link, whatever, anywhere, whatever. I'm here for you. Literally, I'm here for you. Shoot me a DM. I will respond to you in 10 minutes or less. I live on my phone. I live on my email for you guys. Okay? Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Hope to see you guys at Equip Expo next week. Hope to see you guys at LAL in the next, 12, 13, 14 days. It's going to be crazy. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's going to be ridiculous. November 2nd. Tickets are still available. We'll take cash at the door. Got some great new things that are coming down the pike there. We're making some huge investments into the show. It's awesome. It's always growing, and we just can't wait to see you guys at Equip. Can't wait to see you guys at LAL. All right. Over and out. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Don't forget to hit subscribe. That way you get notified of new shows. Feel free to please leave us a rating and review. Let us know how we're doing. If you guys do like the show and you hit 5-star or intend to leave a 5-star review, please actually hit 5-star. Don't hit 1-star. Somebody did that the other day. That was funny. But hit 5-star if you guys think it's worthy of 5-star, and we appreciate you. All right. Over now, guys. Have a beautiful day. We'll catch up with you here on the next one.
You're probably listening to this podcast because you want to get better at the business of lawn care. If you have made the decision to go all in, then the whole ball of wax at LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com is the fastest route to starting strong and putting your company in the best position for success. The whole ball of wax is everything Brian Fullerton offers, with a few exceptions, at less than half the price of purchasing every training course, program, and resource individually. When you purchase the whole ball of wax, not only do you get instant access to everything on the site, Along with a one-on-one coaching call with Brian, you get lifetime updates to all courses. And when new programs come online, those are yours for free. Pause the podcast, go to lawnchpreneuracademy.com, click on the store tab, or use the link in the podcast description.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.
Here's a recent episode of the Branded Bull podcast featuring Brian and Adam Fullerton. Make sure to subscribe today.
This is the Branded Bull Podcast, a show dedicated to helping take your business to the next level with winning marketing and branding tips and strategies built for today's competitive world. Ready for your business to make its mark and stand out from the competition? Let's get into it.
Hey guys, Adam Fullerton here with the Branded Bull Podcast. We have another great episode in the queue for today. And joining in studio with me is my brother, Brian Fullerton. How you doing?
Good. I love talking about the power of photos, the power of video, the power of a testimony. I'm pumped up about this. So let's go.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, when we talk with people, we always advocate for it. We've done a couple episodes on this probably at this point, the power of imagery and what it can do for your marketing material. But videography, for example, we haven't dipped.
Duck, dive, dip, dodge, If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
So we've got,
dear Lord.
So video and what comes with it. So what are we talking about?
Well, first off, you guys watched that line on video, right? So it's the power of telling a story, right? And so video is huge because video is the storyteller, right? And so obviously, there's a story to tell. You guys have a small business. You're trying to get market share. You're trying to get customers. You're trying to get your name out there. How do you do it? Well, the font and the texting and the typing, they call that copy. And that's words on a website, words on a blog post, words in the description of an Instagram post, right? Like that's the copy. But the video done right, the video can tell a story. And so for me personally, we've spent and invest a lot of money into time and energy and of course finances to get good quality video, intentional good quality video to help tell a story about who we are, what we do, what we can offer, how we can help you, how we can solve problems in your life. And so, for example, my company is a lawn and landscape company. We're up here in Wixom, Michigan, doing $500,000, going to $1 million really quick. 4 full-time guys, 3 part-time guys. We're cutting grass, removing snow, moving, making black pavement wet, as my friend says. And so what we are doing as we take care of residential and commercial sites is we're telling a story about how we're able to help solve your problems and how we can hit those pleasure points and reduce or remove those pain points. And so how do we do that? Well, yeah, like I just said, with copy and text and good words on the website, but really it's the video that we use on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, our webpage, Facebook, or in any of our ads that show that problem being solved via video, i.e., our guys cutting grass, our guys plowing snow, you guys doing a dental implant, change and giving somebody a beautiful smile, you guys taking a video of a botched plumbing job or a water heater that broke, or, maybe a heater, a HVAC, that went out at, God forbid, of course, it's only at 2:00 in the morning. Does your furnace break down? Anybody ever been there? But the furnace breaking down and somebody needing a new $4,000 furnace and you fixing and coming in there like the white knight on the horse via video, coming in to help that family get heat. And that's where the power of, having, whether it's professional videographers come in and shoot you these great B-roll, slow-mo, cinematic shots of your guys' product or service, or maybe you're telling video via a testimony. Maybe you're doing a actual product testimony, Adam, like a before and after, which is really, really powerful. And that can be via photo or video. There's just so much to be desired out there in the marketplace as people consume video. And you guys got to think, the average customer, the average person in the marketplace right now, what are they consuming the most? One, I think it's podcasts, but two, it's video. And video has absolutely transformed the world the last, I'd say, 10, 20 years. And think about that, guys. If you get moved by movies like Braveheart and The Patriot and some of your best all-time classics you're watching on video, you got to think that folks are buying products and services too based on video. And that's the power of just visual storytelling, Adam. So yeah.
100%. And I think in the world of marketing and branding, right, this is what we're all about. We like to say that images capture your attention, but videos keep you engaged. So when you see a picture, that's awesome. And that's only going to last, though, your attention span for a few seconds. Then you're going to go on to the next thing. And it doesn't mean it's not powerful or impactful, but if you really want to engage people, things that move, that's how we're just developed as human beings, right? We watch things, we like to see things move and in action. And so you can always convey even more through something like a video. In the world of websites, that's what we do as well as one of our services is a video background or a testimonial video right on your homepage. Things like that where people might see some photos, but they really engage and get more information and stay tuned, and it really captures them when they see those beautiful videos. So it's truly one of those things that can help you stand out from the competition and ultimately convince more people that maybe you're the right business for them and what they're looking for. So again, I think that's amazing, and video is just so powerful in this day and age. So anything else you want to add to this short episode on the podcast?
No, I think not to get too X's and O's on it, maybe another episode for another time, but I think there's different types of story that you can tell with the video. There's different types of video, from short form to long form to medium form content, vertical, horizontal, how to do it. Again, we can maybe always do a part 2 on this, but the long story short is, look at what you're watching out there. Do you guys spend a lot of time on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and YouTube? I know I do. And so if that's where the eyeballs are and you're not there, there's a disconnect, right? So you have to go where the people are going. And like you said, Adam, they're spending a significant amount of time on video. I'm sure there's some great stats out there about how much. I know it's like every day on YouTube, there's 2,000 hours of content uploaded per minute to YouTube, right? A video. So video's not going anywhere. And if anything, it's only getting bigger, and it's taking more of the marketplace. And really, like Gary Vee says, the attention. So don't discredit video. Oh, I'm not a video person, or I don't like shooting videos or clips. Hey, nobody said you had to like it to do it, but I think it can be a great thing that you can add to your arsenal to help get more customers and get the name out for your company. So the power of video is huge. Don't underestimate it. It's done wonders for my life and my business and my income. And I'd encourage you guys to give it a solid look and a fair shake. So that's what we'll wrap it up. Anything else?
No, I'm good. On this episode, guys, we appreciate you tuning in as always. And if you guys have questions or you need help with your small business and your marketing and branding, reach out to us. Go to brandable.com. And of course, if you like what you heard, please, we ask you, feel free to give us a 5-star review if you think the value is there. That's all we're trying to do, is just communicate more information, provide more context so you guys can make smarter, more educated decisions in your own business. That said, we appreciate you reaching out to us as always and listening to this podcast. And of course, we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Branded Bull Podcast, the podcast dedicated to giving you expert advice and actionable ideas so that your business can make its mark and stand out from the competition. Like what you heard in today's show? Visit brandedbull.com to see how we can help you achieve your marketing and branding goals. Also, please consider leaving a 5-star review. And again, thanks for listening.